Good evening. What's going on, folks? It's been a while since I had to wear my mask. You know what it is. You know what happens when I got to put the mask on. That means somebody played like doo and somebody's gameplay today stunk. So I am putting the mask on today because the Eagles' offense looked bad. Jalen Hurts looked god awful. Brian Johnson's play calling not good. Well, let me say it like this. Let me clarify because it's hard to say he was horrible. It's hard to say Jalen Hurts was horrible when AJ Brown goes and does what he does. So somebody had to get him the ball. Somebody had to recognize what the defense was, call the right plays, and things of that nature. So in that regard, it wasn't as bad, right? But in totality, the situations in the red zone, our red zone offense is still god awful. And here's my biggest criticism right now with Brian Johnson is number one, the red zone offense. And number two, how do we have arguably the best offensive line in football? We have the number one rushing offense in football, or at least we're top three, I believe. And we're going up against the 29th ranked run defense in the NFL. And we have 50 dropbacks. I think Jalen Hurts dropped back 50 or 51 times today. He only had 45 passes, but you got to take into consideration how many times he scrambled out of a pocket if he didn't see something open. So I'm going to guess right around, probably around 51, 52 dropbacks. His total, his stats for the day, let me see. Did it take my page away? Let me get rid of this thing. I don't want to see these jokers again. Uh, so he was 28 for 45, 280 yards, one touchdown, and three interceptions. Now, you give one of those interceptions to Dallas Goedert because he couldn't hold on to the ball, and it pops right into the hands of a defensive man. But the other two, that was all on him. Obviously, the last one was at the world's worst possible time because I'm thinking when we get the ball with a minute 45 seconds left, the first thing I think of is last year against Indianapolis, where we go to length of the field and go up for the win, right? And I believe earlier this year when we played Washington, Washington did the same thing defensively that the Jets did to cause that pick. They bring a defensive back or a linebacker, I'm not sure who it was. They bring him up to the line of scrimmage like he is going to cover that receiver or he's on the rush, like a blitz. Then at the snap of the ball, he drops back. And everybody drops back in the zone. So there were two guys sitting in the zone. I saw who we wanted to go to, throw the ball to, but you had two guys in that zone. And as soon as he let the ball go, stepped right in front of it, and it was almost a pick six. It probably would have been better off if it was. But the way we ran the ball after that, it wouldn't have really made a difference. Wouldn't have made one bit of damn difference. Because that at that point, the play calling was like, what are you doing? Like what? Some of the run plays that we call, like you got to be able to switch it up a little bit when they know you're coming. When they're going to line up 8 men in the box because they know you're going to run the ball. And I don't understand with somebody as fast as DeAndre Swift is why we don't try to get somebody off tackle or to the outside more often. Put a package together, put some guys in shift or in motion so you can get some guys moving around to get them out of position so you can get that kid out in space and let him do what he does best. You got to be able to do that. You got to have some plays like that in your repertoire, in the playbook. It's got to be there, man. It's got to be there. I don't understand. We've been harping on this about Brian Johnson, and Going into week 3, going into week 4, you see it coming in. You see it coming together. But then when you go back and look at it in retrospect, the big plays are masking some of the deficiencies. And you saw Jason Kelsey blow up last week about the whole red zone thing. That's a coaching issue, not getting the plays in time, not knowing what you want to do. We got to get that together. And that's his biggest weak link right now, Brian Johnson. So I I, I don't know. We griped about this last. Well, I griped about this all last year. Not running the ball enough. Not running the ball enough with the running backs. Now we really truly have the running backs to do this thing, and they still refuse to do it. Lane Johnson goes down. Jack Driscoll goes to right tackle. Now, based on the history, we already know Jack Driscoll is a much better run blocker than he is a pass blocker. We already know that. We got the tape from last year. Uh, we know what we got. When he played earlier this year, when he was playing, when Jurgens went down, and he was playing right guard, he did a great job at right guard or left guard. Opeta was at right. But every time we got to put him at right tackle, he gets used. They don't put no help over there with him. They don't put him to a strong side. And they leave him on the island, and he gets burned every time he's in that situation. Run blocking, he's sound. Pass blocking, problem. And they know that. They know that. And once again, we going up against the 29th ranked run defense in the league, and we're number 1 rushing in the league. And we throw the ball 50 daggone times. That makes absolutely no sense. None. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And that is, you get so into your game plan that you lose your common sense. You can't see the forest for the trees. When Gainwell got in there, he ran the ball pretty well. Keep running the ball. They still don't want to. The screen game was, I don't know what that was today. Our screenplays, we got to have better screenplays than that. We have to. I don't. Maybe we just missing Doug Peterson and Big Red from back in the day that knew how to run screenplays. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So there is some definite tightening up that the Eagles have to do. Brian Johnson is definitely going to be in the hot seat this week. The press is going to be coming at him, coming for him. You already know. But that performance today on the offense in the second half was stinky. Doo-doo. Got to put the mask on because there's COVID in the air. That offense was COVID in the second half. Horrible. It was sick. Dropping passes. I hadn't seen Devontae Smith drop passes like that before. Like wide open passes hitting him in the hand. And then, what was that? Jalen's, the second pick he threw. Jack Driscoll gets beat around the outside and the dude hits his arm. And it's like, ugh. The ball just sit there, floated in the air. And they caught it, and that was the pick. That was the other turnover. And we were moving the ball, but we got to have a better balance. We got to have a better balance with run and pass. We just got to do a better job of it. Do we have a run based offensive line or not? The first couple games when DeAndre Swift was doing his thing and oh my God, and look how good he is, and we didn't expect that. All of that goes out the door if you don't use them. What's the point of having a piece like that on the board if you never move them? We doing the same crap we did last year. We get caught in that rut where everything's got to be passed. It doesn't have to be. So clearly, in my mind, even with a loss, even with a loss, San Francisco is still a better team than the Eagles right now. And I'm saying that because if you want to match up player to player, okay. When you get to the coaches, that's where we're losing the battle because we're going to lose the chess. We're going to lose the chess match when you match coach to coach, the ideology and the logic and just the game plans versus each other. That's where we're going to lose because we are very deficient in that category, in my opinion. The Eagles have not showed me the defense has the last 3 weeks. The defense has gotten to the point where even with all of the injuries we've had, the defense has showed up. The defense showed up. The defense still only had the Jets rushed for 39-18, so it's 40 to 60, 75. So they still kept the offense, the Jets offense under 100 yards. Still kept them under 100 yards. So the defense is doing their job. Zach Wilson ended up with 186 yards. Defense held up their end of the bargain. Defense did what they were supposed to do. So this is all on the offense. That's probably the worst performance in the second half of football that I've seen. Maybe since the Patriots game. This was worse than the Patriots game. The second half. Oof. We got to get better at this. We got to get better at this. And again, the defense is showing up, and you still got people stepping in, and we decides calling a good game in spite of all of the injuries we have. We just can't get, and I've said this before, we are paying the piper for having such a good year last year and no major injuries. We had one or two major injuries last year. That was it. We lost CJGJ for a couple weeks. We did lose Avante Maddox for a while, and then the whole thing with Jalen Hurts. But other than that, we didn't. It wasn't that bad, and we're making up for that this year. The law of averages has caught up with us, and we paying the piper. And it seems like every week we've only had one clean game this year, one, where we didn't have any major injuries, and just all of that stuff gets blown out of the water. Reed Blankenship's out. Roby, who we just signed, is out. Lane Johnson, you don't know what's going on with him. I think he'll be back, but you don't know. Ugh. Just as soon as we get somebody in, we get somebody hurt. So we get like the serious revolving door, man. It is crazy. So I don't know. I am so ready to hear these press conferences and all this kind of stuff this week because the defense is going to have a test this week. I'm expecting us, unless I hear some good news, Miami might have a field day on us because we're going to have to sign some more people for our defensive secondary. So is Jalen going to be able to go tit for tat with Tua? But again, we got to match wits with Daniels. So do I trust Sirianni and Brian Johnson to be able to do that? Will they be up to snuff? This will be probably the biggest test for Desai. This will be the big. This will be. This offense is probably the most dangerous offense in the league right now. So this will be the biggest test for Desai thus far. He was tested last week. Came out second half last week against the Rams with flying colors because Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp was eating us alive. And then he made the adjustments. We came out in the second half and we handled our business. First half, not so much. Who's gonna cover Tyreek Hill? That's what I want to know. Who's going to cover Tyreek Hill? Bradbury can't do it. Slay's out. Who's got the speed? The only person I know with speed that can cover Tyreek Hill is Slay, in my opinion. Bradbury's not fast enough. I really don't know how fast Sidney Brown is and a lot of the other ones. Keely Ringo, maybe, but he's not ready to play. Not throwing him to the woods against Tyreek Hill. I don't want to do that. He'll get chewed up and spit out. So we got to figure out who's going to do what. They're going to be in the film room this week, and they got a lot to work on. They got a lot to work on. This was a ugly, ugly loss. This is one of those things where you don't have a good taste in your mouth after this, and you question what kind of team you have. Now I know I said last week I don't believe in track games. I don't believe in all of that. Every game is its own season, and you prepare to play every game like it's a championship game. That's what you're supposed to do. And I have no doubt that they prepared and all of that kind of stuff. Why they came out and stuck up the joint like they did, I have no idea. I have no idea. That stuff happens all the time. I don't understand why that happens as much. We watch all these other teams. They can handle and dominate the bad teams like they're supposed to, but for whatever reason, when it's time for us to play them, it's like everybody, goes Super Saiyan mode and they start giving us the business. I saw that 49ers game. The Browns defense gave the 49ers all they could handle. All they could handle. If the Browns would have had Deshaun Watson, that game would not have been close because the Browns were hanging with them, and it was all about their defense. The San Francisco 49ers lost to P.J. Walker, and the Eagles said, "Hold my beer. We gonna get y'all to lose to freaking Zach Wilson." You got to be kidding me, man. That is frustrating beyond all measure because it makes it worse when you've seen what we're capable of. And that's why I'm so critical of the coaches, Sirianni, Brian Johnson, and Jalen Hurts play, making the mistakes at the end of the game. We got 3 plays to go 10 yards, and we do a run play, and we did something else. We just wasn't. We were hot and ready, played horrible. That is an understatement, sir. Understatement of the year. So that is just hot garbage. Yeah, man. It's crazy. If y'all wasn't here a couple minutes ago, I'm wearing this mask because our performance stunk, and I don't want to smell it. God awful, hot garbage. And I'm still. I don't know if you guys heard. I'm still pissed off about the fact that we did not run the ball against the 29th ranked run defense in the league. We didn't run the ball. 50 something dropbacks. 50 something dropbacks. Jalen Hurts threw 45 passes, and I'm not counting his scrambles where somebody wasn't open. So if you add all that together, he probably had 51, 52 dropbacks. That is unacceptable. When you got somebody that's supposed to be an NFL level offensive coordinator calling the shots, and for him to make that decision, that's unacceptable to me. Like, what were you thinking? I can trust the fact that you watched film, that you made a game plan, and if I can trust that fact, I got to trust the fact that you knew this was one of the worst run defenses in the league, and we didn't expose it. We still have arguably one of the best offensive lines in the league, but all we want to do is drop back and pass. They did the same thing last year. We showed promise and we showed production running the ball on the ground, and they stopped doing it. Every freaking time they stopped doing it. Milk Dud Brian Johnson. Yes, sir. 100%. 100%, dude. Dude, I'm the same way, bro. Trying to run the ball. My wife looking at me crazy because I'm like, why don't we run the ball? And then when we run the ball, we be running these dumbass. Ugh, I can't. I'm gonna put. I gotta put that on my list this week. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on YouTube and I'm gonna take clips of some old school. I'm gonna do. Let me write this down. Matter of fact, so I don't forget. Just so y'all know, I ain't bullshit. Let me see. Where am I pin at? Everything in here but what I need. Lord have mercy. There we go. So I'm gonna do San Francisco this year. So I'm gonna do San Fran in 2023. I'm gonna do Denver Broncos when Terrell Davis was there, and I'm gonna do the Cowboys from 2022 last year. And the only thing I want to show is the teams. I might even get a little, maybe Tennessee, maybe the Tennessee Titans. Let me write that down because they got King Henry, Tennessee with King Henry. And what I want to show is when you zone block runs, what you do, the linemen have a little bit wider splits, and it forces the D line to widen out. Give yourself some space. And you either go one back in ace. If you're going to run, if you like the gun formation, you got to run it in pistol because you got to have your back deep. And every time, I've only seen us, the Eagles, run it once. Every time the running back is deep and the quarterback turns and sticks the ball out there, the linebackers have to flow. They have to go to where they see the ball going. And what that does is it makes them step up and either left or right, and it sets up the blocks for the offensive lineman, makes their job easier. And then the running back, he doesn't run to a hole, he runs to where he sees the hole is. Because it could be over the guard, it could be over the tackle, or it could be outside the tackle. It is a zone read. Read meaning you read where the hole is going to be. Be a running back. Get the ball as deep as you can and be a running back. Zeke Elliott used to kill us on that when he was in Dallas. Terrell Davis used. That's what got Terrell Davis in the Hall of Fame. That's what got him in the Hall of Fame because they couldn't stop him, and they would stretch everything out, and he would just make a cut. One above all says, I still can't believe we lost to the Jets, man. Zach Dan Wilson. Hey, man, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm watching San Francisco like, guess who's the last undefeated team in the. Damn it, the Eagles said, hold my beer, man. Daggone it. Um, yeah, the Jets. Listen, and you guys heard me say this earlier in the week. The Jets defense was serious. The problem was the offense. I can't imagine what this team would have looked like if Aaron Rodgers would have stayed healthy. They had something going. That defense is for real. I said that a couple weeks ago. That defense is for real. And now it looks like Zach Wilson, he was running, he was scrambling, he was breaking tackles, dipping underneath, climbing the pocket. He was doing all of that stuff. He looked like a real quarterback. He looked like he's getting some confidence. And sure enough, sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. We got. It is embarrassing, dude. It is embarrassing because we shouldn't have lost that game. And as bad as we played, we still should have won the game at the end. That's why it's so freaking. Oh, that's why I make you so pissed off. So The balance of play calling was ass in this game. It was frustrating. Absolutely 100%. Like Shady said, Dak is ass. Uh, yeah, Brian Johnson's play calling was ass too. So we got to be able to do better than that. And again, I shouldn't say that because you can't say somebody's totally horrible and then AJ Brown goes and does what he does. You had to call that play. Somebody had to get him the ball. But some of our run plays, our red zone offense, nope. We got to be better at that. Period. We got to be better at that. And don't get twisted. Don't get it mixed up. When they talked about there was the coach didn't say anything and he let the players handle it and all of that kind of stuff. Rest assured, when they had their meetings tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday's supposed to be the day off, but I bet you they're gonna have it's gonna be some people in that locker room, in the film room, studying. Cause are we at Miami? No, Miami comes to us, so at least we're at home. Um, so we got Miami, Washington, and Dallas. And based on what we showed today, I ain't confident we can do anything. I'm confident our defense can play well, but I'm not confident in our offensive play calling. I'm not confident that we'll run the ball. I still think they're gonna go out there and try to outthrow everybody, and that's exactly what might happen when we go against Miami. Are we gonna try to outthrow them? Why are we gonna try to outthrow them when we can run the ball? You already know. What more do you need to see about Jack Driscoll that lets you know that'll convince you that we should run the ball more when he's in the game? What more do you need to see? You putting round pins in square holes. AJ can only do so much. Smitty dropped some clutch passes. Yes, he did. Swift fumbles. Yes, he did. 27th red. Bruh, your guess is as good as mine. And you know what? Here's the funny thing. If that would have been Gainwell, or even let's go back last year, if that would have been Miles Sanders that fumbled that ball, they would be giving him the business right now. So Swift shouldn't be any different. Put the ball on the ground. Great play. I say this all the time. The men on the other side of the ball get paid too. And you know what? He came in, punched that ball. They created 4 turnovers today. 4 turnovers. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. We got mollywopped. We got embarrassed. So I am interested to see what the press conference is going to be when they speak to the media this week, because I want to hear all them questions. I'm gonna be on that Eagles app all weekend, all week. I want to see what they're gonna say. I want to see what answers they come up with. Yeah, Driscoll was getting beat like a drum, and they know it. You can't. Tape don't lie. Tape don't lie. But you know what? I can't. I can't. Why couldn't you give them some help? Why couldn't you run? Uh Not overload, but why couldn't you run strong to his side? Put the tight end over there, or go 22, or put two tight ends on the line of scrimmage with only 2 receivers. Do something to give the boy some help. Give him some help. Stop thinking about what he should be able to do. Clearly, he needs some help. So you got to get him some help. As coaches, that's what you're supposed to figure out. Where's the weak link in this armor right now? And once I find the weak link, what can I do to fix it? If I can't fix it, I need to replace it. That's what you got to do as a coach. You find the weak link, fix it, or replace it. And the Eagles aren't doing that. The Eagles aren't doing that. I believe that if Quez Watkins was still healthy, he would have been starting after everything you've seen. Put Oz in there. Now he got hurt. Not a problem anymore. It shouldn't even got to that point. My biggest criticism of the Eagles, like Sirianni, is You're talking about loyalty over performance. The whole conversation last week. What's going to happen when the Kobe Dean comes back? Are you going to take Moreau off the field? And guess what? They inputted him or inputted. They put him in there, put him some packages in there, and he played a lot of snaps today. He had a decent game. I think he had 3 tackles and 3 assists. So he had a good game today. The Kobe Dean 3-3. Nicholas Moreau. The Kobe Dean was 3-1. Nicholas Moreau was 3-3. So they both had pretty decent games today. But you get the penalty because they pulling Zach Cunningham off the field. He don't get off the field in time. We get the penalty. Too many men on the field. Stuff like that is frustrating. So they got some work to do, man. We got to figure out our secondary situation. They got to figure out. They ain't gonna do nothing about Jack Driscoll though. They're not gonna do it. They're gonna give you the coach speak about he's got to get better and we'll work on it in practice and all of that kind of stuff. He's gonna give you the coach speech, and then we'll see. Is he gonna get better? If he can't get better in camp, what is he gonna do with a week of practice? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Do we need to move Opeta to guard or tackle rather? We got to do something. We got to do something. Or is Lane Johnson just so far above everybody else in our room, in our offensive line room? Is that the case? Is he so far miles ahead of anybody else that's a backup in that locker room? And I know he's all pro, Hall of Fame, all of that kind of stuff, but they'd be the first one to tell you next man up. Well, next man better learn how to block. Because he got your brains beat in, Bootney. Got your brains beat in. And look at this. Even the Giants are beating Buffalo right now 9-7. Tyrod Taylor is balling. And the Giants are playing some good ball right now. Ooh, look at Josh Allen. Good run, good run, good run. So, man. Whew. This was a tough one, man. This was a tough one. Was there anything else? I was looking at next gen stats. Tyrod Taylor, that's the game going on now. Let's see. Brees Hall. We pretty much held him in check. That's what you want to show? Okay. The one touchdown we let him score just so we can have a more we can have more time on the clock. Oh, that catch by AJ Brown was special. So we gotta man, we got work to do. How did we lose that game, bro? How did we lose that game? Damn. Like that really makes you mad. That really makes you mad. We could have been undisputed. Undisputed. But we in the same boat as San Francisco. They took a hard loss today. Our loss was worse than San Francisco's loss. They won't think that, but I do. We can't talk smack about them Cowboys. I'm a realist. When you a player, you can talk smack to a certain degree, but film don't lie. So all them Cowboys fans that's itching to come back at the Eagles fans because we gave them the business when they lost to the Cardinals. We gave Dallas the business. Yo, you can put that blame around like a pie, dude. Everybody get a slice. Everybody on the offense, anyways, not on the defense. I'm gonna leave the defense out of this. Defense, y'all can leave. We'll get with y'all tomorrow. Only the offense stay in this house. We got some business to handle. This is all on the offense. But like I was saying, all them Cowboy fans and Washington Commander fans, and even the Giants fan, because the Giants are winning right now. They beating Buffalo, and did nobody expect that? Now, are they going to be able to hold on? I don't know. Buffalo is on the 30, 37-yard line, and they about to be in the red zone. So maybe they'll hold on, maybe they won't. But in any case, on any given Sunday, people can get beat. Offense is ass. No, the red zone offense is garbage. And some of the play calling is garbage. It's not necessarily the whole offense. Because, like I said earlier, you can't say that and then A.J. Brown had just broken a record. 5 back to back, or was it 4 or 5 back to back 100-yard plus games? So something has to be working. But what we are losing is the chess match. The play calling, the run plays on the goal line in red zone it's just not working. And I don't understand what we got to do to convince people to y'all need to make a different decision. Something's got to happen. I don't know. Do not know. So, what we got? Excuse me. 2nd and 6. 3rd and 3. 3rd and 2. 3rd and 3. True, you stand corrected. That's all good, bro. It's all good. So it's all related. It's all related and it's all connected. So, first couple games, defense, they couldn't stop a thing, and then offense picked it up. And I was hoping this should have been the game where both offense and defense dominated, but we couldn't even dominate. We couldn't even dominate the line of scrimmage because they didn't bother to run the ball against the 29th ranked defense. What kind of bull crap is that? What kind of bull junk is that? As Prime would say. See, this kind of stuff make my hair grow. Oh my God, that 2 running back set was actually creative, and I was shocked to see it. If we can get more of that, I agree. The 2 running back set is good because it forces the linebackers to make a decision. Everything you do, your sets, your motions, your shifts, all of that is specifically for number 1, so you can see if you're in man-to-man or you're in zone, and number 2, to see what kind of matchups you got. If you can switch up the formation or shift into something different or put somebody in motion, and you got a linebacker on Kenny Gainwell or DeAndre Swift, that's a win. But you got to do it. You already know that they got that play in the playbook. Use it. And then they do the stuff. It just don't make sense, man. We trying to keep the clock going, keep the drive going, because we got less than a minute 30, and we throw those crazy routes, and then it's 4th and 8, and we launch 130 yards down the field, 40 yards downfield. That's why I don't get it. When see situations like that, everybody's in the box. They don't want DeAndre Swift to run on them or Gainwell or whoever. Okay, so why don't you throw a quick pitch to the outside? Bring everybody in. So no, you're not going to be outside with trips or deuces on one side or the other so you can run that damn bubble screen. I don't want to see the bubble screen. I want to see a pitch, right or left, or do something to get your boy outside and slam down on that defensive end so you can contain him and get outside and do what you got to do. That's what we got to do. I know we got him in the playbook, but it don't matter if it's in the playbook if they're not calling it. Period. So, 1 above, I agree with you 100%. The 2 back set is beautiful, and there's a lot of things you can do from it. But if we do the same old stuff all the time that everybody and their mama know we doing, what's the point? What is the point? So, again, in my opinion, you got Brian Johnson and you got Jalen Hurts. They look the worst. We can't get Goddard and Calcaterra on the field. Yeah, I'm with you. I like Calcaterra. I like Grant Cohn too, but or stole. But I'm a fan of Calcaterra. And don't forget, we got the dude, uh, uh, the Nigerian dude. We signed him from Denver, and I know that dude can run. He's 4.4 speed, and he's what 26, 27. So he's still a relatively young kid. How come we can't get that kid involved? You mean to tell me they already know that they just figured out he can't play? Nah, that's what I'm trying to tell people. If somebody made this comment on Twitter earlier last week saying I was asking the question, should Moreau sit when N'Kobe Dean comes back? And somebody's answer was Nick Moreau got cut, so he's not that good anyways. That was like the premise of it. That's not what it said verbatim, but that was the premise of it. Because he got cut, he probably wasn't any good anyways and didn't deserve to start. And I'm like, you don't understand the business. There's a ton of people that get cut that shouldn't be cut. And there's a ton of people that stay on teams that shouldn't be on teams. Happens every year on every team, period. One above says, what's the point of having uh, athletic running backs to sit on the bench? I'm with you 100%, man. 100%. I do not have the answer to that question. I don't have it. And I'm tired of looking for it because you know what? They get paid all the money. So they supposed to have the answers to that question. And some of the stuff that they do, it makes no damn sense. None. So I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what Brian Johnson is thinking. I don't know why he gets into this rut. But can you really blame it on Brian Johnson? They did the same thing they did last year. We was begging for them to run the ball more. They never did run the ball. And you had Miles Sanders going into a halftime with 2 touches and all of that kind of stuff. And I know people around here was down on Miles Sanders. I wasn't. Feed him the ball. That's why I said with the whole thing with Kenny Gainwell, how you know what you got if you don't try it? We could have thrown the ball to the running backs more last year. You could have thrown them some of them passes that Swift got this year, you or today. You could have done that with Kenny Gainwell. You could have done that with Kenny Gainwell last year. You just didn't do it. Not using the pieces on the board. And we get boxed in and trapped, and then we out. We got to be better than that, man. We got to be much better than that. But we ain't the one calling the plays, man. So it's frustrating, man. This was an ugly, ugly, ugly loss. And I don't hate Robert Silence, but it's like you just putting all that kind of bulletin board on material and ain't a damn thing we can do. Because you know what? You can't argue when you're losing. Can't do it. You can't argue with you losing. And that's why I said earlier, all them Cowboy fans and Washington fans and New York Giants fans, talk your talk. Talk your shit now if you want to. Because we have no rebuttal. We trashed the Cowboys when they lost. We trashed the Giants because Daniel Jones was garbage. We trashed the Commanders. We trashed everybody. But guess what? Now it's our turn. We the ones talking about we don't get enough respect. Jalen Hurts ain't high on all the lists and the power rankings and all of the stuff that really don't matter. We worried about all of that stuff. But nobody brings up the whole situation with Brian Johnson, how he's calling plays. Nobody brings up that stuff. I don't know what they're going to do, but they better figure it the hell out with the quickness. Because this schedule is about to get quite nasty. So, coming up, we got Miami. Then we go back to Washington. Then Dallas comes to town. Then it's the bye week. Then you get at KC, Buffalo, San Francisco, at Dallas, at Seattle. Are you serious? We got a murderer's row on this schedule coming up. And if we go into this playing like we played tonight, we're going to get drugged. So, what I'm looking for is the Eagles to come out to Miami and just put it on them. That's what my hope is. But that's why they play the game. That is why they play the game. So we get what we get. Sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. And we got. So it is what it is. I'm tired of ranting. I've been ranting for 45 minutes. I'm still pissed off at that loss. But ain't nothing I can do. So I'm gonna scour around and see if I can find the press conference stuff. I don't know if Brian Johnson talked, but he got some splaining to do. Oh yeah. So what's the score of this game? Saquon Barkley played today? He sure did. Good for him. Ooh. He got corked. But yeah, man. I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate you guys. Please continue to watch the content. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Click that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And I will see you guys in the next play. One above and hot and ready. I appreciate the feedback, man. I really appreciate the feedback. So keep joining. Tell your friends about me. And next time I have a live chat, bring your friends. Eventually, I'm going to have to try to get some people on the live chat. But appreciate the support, man. Keep bringing people to the room. And I will catch you guys